We're slashing, we're gashing, we're podcasting. Welcome to the funniest movie ever made. I'm Rip, and across from me is my bestest bud, Chaps. Say hi, Chaps.
What's up?
All right. It's spooky season.
Was that too much?
Today we're wrapping up our second and final bonus episode, Scary Movie. But first, Chap Daddy, how are you? What's new? And what are you watching?
I'm very good. I might have blown the speakers out on that was up, so hopefully everyone's ears are still intact after that one. Also, really appreciate the intro off the top. That was really good. A nice little reference to the movie itself there. And yeah, what have I been watching? We watched a couple of different things this past week. My girlfriend and I watched a movie called It's What's Inside. Have you heard of this?
I've never heard of this, no.
So this is a Netflix movie.
Okay.
And it's like super like Gen Z kind of, I don't know, millennial type movie. It's got a really interesting concept. It's like this idea where this guy has this game that will switch everybody's bodies, and once you hook up to it, like my brain would go into your body and your brain into my body kind of thing, and like you wake up and then like shit ensues from there, and it's a thriller. And well, the concept itself, it's like super cool, very unique. But the filmmaking choices really bothered me throughout a lot of this movie. There's just like too many 360 shots where they just spin around in a circle, just unnecessary. And then there's this trope that I think it's like from the pandemic, the use of like social media overlays in movies.
Yeah, that's like so like, popular now.
Yeah,
right?
and I kind of hate it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a better way to show that and like get that idea across in a more, in my opinion, like I'm just going to call it artful way, rather than just posting the social media overlay on the screen. All that to say that, yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. It's a thriller. It'll kind of blow your mind in certain ways, and it was interesting. Yeah.
I have a question for you. So this movie, okay, so there's like, what is it? They're like switching souls or something. So
it's like a body switch movie.
Okay, so first of all, do you like body switch movies?
Yeah, I think the most one that I've seen are fun.
So like in this particular movie, so like you meet your characters, right? Whatever, we learn like their personalities, and then they do the quick like, oh, okay, now this guy acts completely different, right? Like he acts like the other guy.
Yeah.
I do not like these movies. Other than Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday is a classic.
I just like I don't know. It's like, for example, I really liked the first Jumanji. Like I thought it was fun. Sorry, oh my god, I'm gonna get shredded for that. Yeah, not the first Jumanji, because the first Jumanji is Robin Williams.
Yeah,
I like the other Jumanji with The Rock.
Right.
Thought it was fun.
I like that one a lot.
But then the second one came out, and I don't know if they were like, you know, trying to switch it up, make it like a little different, but they did the whole body swap thing, and I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, because it's like it's almost because it's been done. You already did it.
Yeah. So
like find it. I don't know. I don't really remember the second one.
Or what's the other one that gets referenced a lot? The Ryan Reynolds, Jason Bateman one.
Up? Yeah, what is it called? Change
just
Up?
Like not for me. I don't know. It's just nah. It's almost like too gimmicky for me.
This one was nice because it's like it's a thriller, and like it kind of. I don't want to ruin the movie for you if you ever watch it.
I'm never gonna watch it.
Well, spoiler alert for people who have not seen It's What's Inside. I'm going to ruin a movie in the next 15 minutes. But basically, it all comes down to like two people die. And then they don't have no body to switch back into. Oh. So like the people that switched into the other bodies are like stuck in those, and like, that's like the really interesting part of it all.
Okay,
like,
I do like that.
So that's what I found to be interesting. Fresh. There's like 40 minutes of the movie where they stop with the gimmicks of the camera work and all that stuff, and just like the movie was being a movie.
Okay.
And it rocked for that 40 minutes, but then it kind of got weird again.
Nice. Okay, I'm assuming that's a blank, your partner's name there. Pick, because I know you don't like scary movies.
I don't mind scary movies. It's ghost movies I don't like. We've been over this. This also wasn't really a scary movie. This was like a thrill, and I actually have been meaning to watch this myself as well. Like I've seen it on like the title page and all that stuff. But yeah, we decided on it together. My girlfriend and I. We were like, yeah, let's watch this one. Yeah.
Nice.
And then we also started the show that you were talking about the other week. Nobody Wants This.
Oh, the
first episode.
Seth Cohen.
Seth Cohen. I actually really like that first episode switch where he's the rabbi. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Good show. We haven't really picked up since then, but we're meaning to go back over it and watch the rest of it. And then I've been watching another anime, your fave. This one's called My Hero Academia, which is like, I feel like all animes do this. It's like, okay, here's a setting. say it's superheroes or like wizards or whatever, that's the setting. But then the main character is always the guy, he doesn't have powers for some reason. Like that's the anime trope, but it's just always through like the force and his sheer will, he'll like get powers or become strong. It's another one of those, but it's pretty good. Yeah. How about you? What are you watching this week?
Honestly, since we last did this, I haven't really watched a lot at all. We did a 5K run.
Fun.
The waterfront race around Toronto.
Cool.
It's become a bit of a tradition. Like me, my sister, one of our best buds came in, and my partner and her parents. We all did it last year, so it's become like a little bit of a tradition.
You happy with your time?
I'm actually really happy with my time. So like, I mean, we play soccer together, and banged up my ankle pretty bad a couple of weeks ago. So have not been doing any training. I know it's a 5K run. You don't really have to do training. Don't make fun of me. I'm old now.
You definitely have to do training, some training.
But yeah, I guess like kind of all of my training has just come from soccer in the past couple of weeks because obviously despite my banged up ankle, I've still been playing.
Yeah, which is why you're not healing.
For our listeners and our one buddy who refuses to come to Toronto and play, I don't really have a strategy when I go out there. I just kind of sprint for like 15 seconds and then I'm so gassed that I just come off the field immediately. So I guess sprint training in some roundabout way has helped my 5K time.
Nice. Well, that's good. It's good to hear.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I guess we watched one thing because afterwards we were so exhausted, we decided to throw a movie on. I don't know if you see my Letterboxd, but we watched Remember the Titans.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, so this is probably the first time I've seen this outside of elementary or high school.
Was it exactly how you remember it?
It was actually better.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
My partner has never seen it.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me because again, like I feel like this is universal no matter what school you went to. It was like the go-to movie that they would put on the TV they'd roll in on movie days.
Yeah, fair.
So that was pretty wild to witness. Fuck, that movie gets me every time.
It's a good movie. It's really good. I love like when they start coming together in training camp.
It's so
Strong
good.
side.
Banger of a soundtrack. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love what CCR? I can't remember
classic
off the top of my head, but I have to assume like "Gimme Shelter" by the Stones is also in there.
All the classic, like what you want to see in a high school football movie songs are in this movie.
Right. This might kick off a little sports run for me. I kind of feel like, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole a little bit here. I've never seen the one Tom Cruise one. That's been on my watch list for a while.
Is that All the Right Moves?
I think it's
or Varsity Blues.
No, it's not Varsity Blues. I think it's All the Right Moves.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I haven't seen that in ages. I don't remember it though. So you didn't catch anything else. I have a bit of movie news for you.
Oh, okay.
Like for no reason, just other than that, it made me excited. Christopher Nolan has announced that Tom Holland will be starring in his next project coming in 2026, and no one knows anything about the movie other than that.
I actually did see this movie news. I so don't care.
Yeah, I have another note here to call out Rip for not liking Nolan movies.
That's not fair.
You're that guy that when other people like things, you go the other way because you're too cool for school.
I'm not a contrarian. I
100% are. Just
thought Oppenheimer was kind of boring. Sue me.
What'd you think of Inception?
I liked Inception.
Okay. Great sounds in Inception.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I wanted to watch a movie about Marxism, like I don't know, watch a movie about Marxism. Okay.
Okay, now you're breaking out with big fancy words.
No, I can YouTube like a bomb going off. Okay.
I mean, yeah, that movie was a lot of build up for just that one scene, but I still love that movie anyways. I thought it was really good.
Barbie was better. If that's all, we can jump right into our George format here.
Yeah. Do you want to take a quick break? And then when we're back, we're doing Scary Movie?
No. I want to jump into the George format. No, I'm just kidding. We can take a drink. We can take a drink. We can take a break.
Okay, sweet.
Hello.
Want to have a little fun?
Who's this?
Do you like scary movies?
You thought the terror was over. If you believed the nightmare was finished.
Ow! Ow!
You were right. From the people who had nothing to do with Scream.
Has it crossed your mind that your boyfriend was murdered and you're next?
No way!
They didn't make the rules.
Oh my God, he's dead!
They're just too stupid to follow them.
We have to call the police.
No way! I ain't going to jail. It's okay, I'm fine.
We'll get rid of the body.
I'm gonna tell y'all the rules to survive this situation. Rule number 1.
Don't answer the phone.
I'm in the house. Do you know where I am?
You're behind the couch. I can see your feet.
What? Oh.
All right, we're back. We're grilling. Bust out the George format. I want to start off by discussing spin-off parodies with you.
Yes.
Then we'll jump into casting.
Perfect.
Do a quick breakdown of the movie. Funniest scenes. MVC. I have some head-to-head for you.
Cool.
And finally, we are going to get to leave and go watch Survivor. How does that sound?
It sounds perfect.
All right. Before we kick off our spin-off discussion here, I just want your general thoughts because we haven't seen this movie. I haven't seen this movie anyways in like 20 years. When was the last time you saw it?
It's got to be probably the same. Like when I saw it, I guess when it came out or after it came out. When I think back on it, like this movie's from 2000. We were really young when this movie came out, and a lot of these jokes did not make any sense to me when I was a kid. And rewatching it, I was like, wow, that was all about drugs, and I did not know that.
That's so funny.
But another thing that like stuck out to me when the movie first started, the Dimension Films logo came up on the screen, and I was like, I haven't seen that logo in a long time, and I'm pretty sure it's on like things like Back to the Future and other movies. So I was like, oh, that's how I know this is going to be a good movie.
It's
like,
really funny that you recognize it hasn't been in front of a movie in a while, whereas for me, I see it and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's like normal. Like it's in front of all movies. Like,
yeah, because those are the movies you watch. Yeah.
But it's just imprinted in my brain.
Here's another thing for you that like threw my brain for a loop when I was going back to watch this. So this movie came out 24 years ago. Kind of crazy. This movie, like the time between Beetlejuice and this movie is only 12 years.
Oh.
Doesn't that fuck you up?
Yeah, I don't really like that. Why do you do stuff like that?
Well, if my brain has to go through it, yours does too.
It's so funny you say that though, because truly, like my first bullet point here is, wow, I was way too young to watch this movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. This movie is just one big sexual joke, and probably not in a good way.
Do you think like parenting has gotten better? Like, do you think like nowadays parents are letting their kids like watch R-rated movies?
Maybe they should. I see kids out there these days that are shitheads, and
like there's so much emphasis on like there's so much emphasis on like helicopter parenting and like, oh, like, you know, like I don't know. Maybe see, I'm stopping my train of thought here because now I'm thinking like kids are growing up with iPads and phones that there's no way they're not watching like worse stuff on the internet anyway. So
yeah, if they're on Reddit, they've seen way worse. Like, I don't know, the whole parenting thing. I feel like the kids are getting worse.
I mean, at the same time, like this is also peak 2000s humor. So
yeah.
It's hard to say, like, is it worse? I mean,
it's very offside. But
then, like, I don't know. Those kind of jokes probably aren't floating around the internet as much as they were just floating around movies in general back in the year 2000, right?
Well, yeah, which is really weird. Like, there's a lot of fun in this movie, but it's surrounded by a lot of like odd offside thinking, and it's just like, when I was watching, I was like, why is this in this movie? Like, do more stuff where the Ghostface guy's getting high with everybody. That's the funny shit.
So it's interesting you say this because this kind of brings me to my next point, which is what could have possibly been left on the cutting room floor? Because it seems like they just threw everything at the fucking wall and it just, whether it's stuck or not, made it into the movie, right?
Yeah, 100%. They were just like, what do you like to say? Jokes per minute? Bits per minute?
Laughs per second.
Laughs per second. That's the one. Yeah, that's what this movie was going for back in 2000. It
was going for it. It didn't hit a high laughs per second necessarily for me. Like, there's some really solid bits, but there's so much to me that just like, nowadays I have to think it gets cut out because it's just not good.
Yeah, just, number one, not good, and number two, just really offside shit that shouldn't have made it in the movie to begin with.
We'll be sure to point some out as we go along. I'm gonna raffle off some. Raffle? Is it raffle or rifle?
It's probably rifle. If you're raffling, I'm about to win something.
Okay.
Am I about to win something?
If you want, you can win any of these movies in the form of DVDs. I don't think you'll want them, but it's too late.
I'm in. I want my free DVDs,
expect
bro.
A gift basket in front of your front door within the next week with date movie, epic movie, disaster movie, and Meet the Spartans in it.
So, which one of these movies have you seen, or have you seen them all?
Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning. I'll list their years, and you tell me which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't. So we have Scary Movie in 2000.
Yeah, I've seen.
Scary Movie 2, 2001.
Yep.
Scary Movie 3, 2003.
Yep.
Scary Movie 4, 2006.
I've seen that, yeah.
Scary Movie 5, 2013.
See, this is where I'm starting to like, I think I fell off of the Scary Movie wagon.
So these are the Scary Movies. Now I'm going to hit you with all the parody movies that were spun off of Scary Movie.
Yeah.
We have Date Movie in 2006.
See, I don't know if I've seen that one.
So I wrote, because I've seen a couple of these, I wrote down like, oh, this is how I'm going to remember it. So Date Movie has the Kill Bill spoof in it. I don't know if you remember this.
No.
I think Allison Hannigan is in it, and there's like a little, I don't know. I've seen Kill Bill once in my life, but I just know from the yellow jumpsuit.
Okay. Yeah, this is not ringing any bells.
Okay. Epic movie, 2007.
Again, I don't think I saw that one.
Meet the Spartans, 2008. That's the one with the Spartans.
Yes, the 300 ripoff. Yes, I got you.
And then
no, I definitely
2008 superhero movie.
So I feel like you're missing one. I feel like you're missing Not Another Teen Movie. That's one I have seen.
To me, that doesn't count because that's a good movie.
Well, it's a parody movie though.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the bad spin-offs.
Part where she's doing the painting and it's just stick figures still kills me to this day.
That's a good bit. That's what I mean. See, to me, like it doesn't fit in this because it's good.
I mean, that's fair.
Am I allowed to say that? Is that just
yeah? Who knows?
Anyways, last but not least is in 2010, Vampires Suck.
Yeah,
which is a Twilight ripoff.
Never seen that or heard of it. I feel like they're still making parody movies though. Like if you scroll far enough on like Prime, you end up in like the land of parody movies.
Is that, yeah?
That's like a thing. Like the back corner of the Prime Video catalog is all just parody movies.
What are your thoughts in general on the scary movies? Because I feel like I haven't seen 5. I think I've seen up to 4. And in general, I think they're all much better than these like spin-off spoof movies.
Yeah, I think the scary movies were generally better than the spin-off ones. The only ones that I can remember, like I remember 2. Like two's is hilarious. 2
spoofs: The Exorcist and House on the Haunted Hill, yeah. Hannibal. It's the all-time quote. Take my strong hand.
Yeah, my turn.
The mashed potatoes.
Yeah. That one is really good. That's the guy who plays the mayor in Schitt's Creek, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So what's the one where they're spoofing 8 Mile?
Oh, I don't know. Now that you mention it, like I can see this scene, but I'm not sure which one it comes from. If it helps, Scary Movie 3 is the one with Charlie Sheen and Leslie Nielsen.
Which one is the one that has like our all-time biggest argument in it of you can't wake up dead?
I think that's 3.
Okay.
Which is spoofing Signs,
right?
And The Ring.
I think that's got to be the 8 Mile one as well.
Yeah,
I think
it could be.
Yeah,
I don't think. Yeah, because I think two takes place entirely in the
mansion.
In the mansion, right? Yeah. So I think you're right. I think it is 3.
Okay.
That is the extent of my knowledge.
And then like 4 becomes like The Grudge, and 5 is like I think 5 is like completely like not even.
Oh, 4 is War of the Worlds. If that helps. Yeah. Okay. 5, I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, basically, like, I bring this up because these movies truly did run parodies into the ground. And it definitely left a sour taste in people's mouths, mine especially, because I do love these types of movies, and I'm pretty sure you do too when they're done right. So I just want to bring up these different approaches, and feel free to add any of these movies if I'm missing any.
Cool.
This is The End.
Yeah.
Which is actors playing themselves. I love this. I'm pretty sure you love this as well. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is the spoof of Nicolas Cage's life.
Yep.
And then
hilarious.
One of our all-time favorite movies, Walk Hard, which is just a straight-up parody of music biopic
Walk
genre.
Hard slaps.
It's so good, right? So, I mean, to me, it does really suck that all of these spoofs had to come out so consecutively, and just like, it's almost like the Marvel fatigue we're experiencing now, but it's, what we experienced, like 15 years ago?
Yeah, it's the nature of Hollywood, right? It's all cyclical, and it goes through these phases. And we've been... It took a while for the nerds to take over, and then they really took over. And like, I'm a nerd myself, but like, we fucked up Hollywood. Like, it's our fault. Like, I'm sorry, but it is. We need like another 5 to 10 year run where it's just like jock movies. It's just like stuff that requires no thought. Like, we need to go back to our roots.
Well, I mean, we're starting to see, I guess, the whole, like, again, what we really enjoy, actors spoofing themselves, right? Like, it's popped up over the years.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've only seen it once, but is it Zombieland?
Yeah, Zombieland's good.
Is it Bill Murray plays himself in that?
Yeah.
Again, like with Nicolas Cage doing his thing. I've seen a couple, like, even spec scripts where, like, oh, one's about like Burt Reynolds and like hanging out with Burt Reynolds. Like I feel like we're on the cusp, and I bet you within the next 5 years we're gonna get like another 2-3 of these where it's just like.
Do you think they're gonna be good, or are they gonna just like try be capitalizing on sort of the success of like Unbearable Weight?
Well, I mean, I hope it works in the same way it worked with Scary Movie, where the first couple are really good.
Yeah, then, we get some good flicks out of it.
It's like, if we're going to get garbage, like, let's get like the gold first, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yeah, you gotta mine so far to know you've run out of gold, right? So,
all right. How about we move into casting here? So this movie is directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans of the Wayans family.
Mm-hmm.
He's directed other notable movies such as Scary Movie 2 and White Chicks, along with writers Shawn Wayans and Marlon Wayans and Buddy Johnson. So again, I think this like quad here, is that how you refer to a four?
Yeah, quartet. No, it's five, isn't it? I don't know.
This quad.
Yeah,
this quad. Yeah, I mean, produce some
This
solid
four-wheeler.
movies, right? Like, I love White Chicks. I love the scary movies up to, where they were good.
Yeah.
And, of course, Marlon Wayans and his brother also play Shorty and Ray in the movie itself.
Yeah. Shorty's hilarious.
So good.
Shorty's a great character.
I want to move on, though, to Anna Faris.
Yeah.
Because just going through her filmography, I was a little shocked. I'm not going to lie. To me, I've always thought of her as this like really big movie star, right? But outside of the scary movies, and then of course like one of my all-time favorite comedies, Smiley Face, she hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, I think this was her thing. Her thing was the scary
Like,
movies.
is
Like
this
that
what
was her
she's known
claim to
for?
fame. Yeah,
Which
that's
is
what I know her from.
Wild, because it feels like she's been around forever.
I know her from this and one clip of Celebrities Read Mean Tweets where I don't know if you've seen this, where someone was just like, if you change the I to a T in Anna Faris's name, it becomes Anna Farts. And I'll never forget that.
That's so good.
Also, wasn't she married to Chris
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. That's
But it's like, again, this is how we know her in the 24 years of her career. Because I'm assuming Scary Movie is what launched her into stardom to begin with.
Yeah.
But she's known as the Scary Movie girl. And then, she's had some good movies that you and I enjoy, like Waiting, Just Friends.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to admit I've seen The House Bunny. But like, let me know if I'm missing anything major here. Like, I feel like these are her movies that she's known for, right?
I think you're right. I didn't do any research, so I'm going to take your word for it.
I'm just going to take my word for it.
Hey, you're hosted this week. I get to take the back seat.
Yeah, no, I just found that strange because again, I feel like you just expected more, right?
Yeah, for like how notable, like we all still remember her name, but like, yeah, like you said, like she's.
Is that also part of it? Because it's not Anna, it's Anna, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like all these, you know her for all these things other than
deep.
like her actual solid movies.
Yeah. I think it also just speaks to how big Scary Movie was when it came out.
That's so true.
It's like that these movies were such a huge hit. Like we haven't got, like, we did it off the top. The whole "Was Up" scene was like in commercials. It was like we were yelling it on playgrounds as kids. Like it was literally everywhere.
So it's funny. I was going to bring it up later, but since you make mention of it now, the rap,
the slash and gash.
Yeah. I heard it in the movie and it just unlocked a memory for me. Like, I have not done that rap in 24 years.
Yeah, we were probably all doing it on the playground.
But the second he says slashing and gashing, I'm like, I know this whole rap.
Yeah, you know exactly where it's going.
I know exactly. And I bet you ask like anybody born, around like early 1990s, you say just slashing and gashing, I guarantee you they finish that rap for you.
Yeah, 100%.
The like handful of people listening right now, I know you're doing it.
Yeah, they are. Everyone's sitting at home. They're like, slash, gash, gonna cut you on a hole in your ass.
Other notable cast include Carmen Electra, Shannon Elizabeth, who is Nadia from American Pie.
Who did Carmen Electra play?
She's Drew in the very beginning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one where, and I mean, we can jump right in now. Other notable cast.
Well, hold on. There's the other notable casting. Go finish the list.
I have Regina Hall and Sherry O'Terry.
Who plays Greg?
I don't know.
It's Betty's dad from Riverdale.
That's lost on me.
You don't watch Riverdale?
No, I don't.
Oh man, I forget the guy's name, but
He's
that's who it is.
That guy for sure. And
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What is his name?
If I looked him up, there's probably a dozen movies I've seen of his in the early 2000s, right? I have to imagine it's like a bunch of road trip knockoffs.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find out who that guy was, but my computer's not loading. We can move on.
All right, Chaps is having technical difficulties. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to jump into Scary Movie. And we're back. We're slashing and gashing. I love that. Let's start with what feels like a cold open, I guess. Carmen Electra, phone call with Ghostface.
Yes.
So this is like a 5-minute scene. They come out swinging with like 30 bits at once here.
Yeah, you got the banana as the phone, like, or the night, like the table of what she should take.
Like, this is the classic example of what I was saying earlier. Like, we're throwing everything at the wall. We're seeing what sticks, and if it doesn't stick, we're keeping it in the movie anyways.
The whole popcorn blowing up into like a big balloon thing behind her. I always wanted that to happen to my stovetop popcorn after seeing this movie.
Jiffy Pop.
But it never did.
That's so funny. I even wrote down like funny, not funny.
Right.
So like, for example, what does he say? What's your favorite scary movie? And she says, Shazam, the one where Shaq plays a genie. Like, that's so random. That's funny. But then I think it's like a second later, he's like, what was that sound? And she's like, oh, sorry, I farted.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is really, guys?
Like you said, they're putting everything out there. When the doorbell goes and it's kids trick or treating and she beats the shit out of them.
That's so, like, again, hilarious, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
However, her grabbing the banana, like, to me, I was like, this is, come on.
Yeah, it's a little, like, when you think about it now, it's a little on the nose of like really making fun of like how stupid people are in scary movies, like in true scary movies.
Yeah. Like, there's just too many gags for me that kind of detracts from the really solid bits, such as her beating the kids with the baseball bat.
It's so funny.
I mean, even on that note, like, once she starts sprinting away from Ghostface, the whole he rips her clothes off and, you know, she's doing the
Baywatch.
Yeah. Right? Like, that's funny. It's Carmen Electra. We know that. I didn't know that when I was like 10.
I had no idea what was happening.
But as an adult, I'm like, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Right? And like, again, that's like in combination with she runs out the screen doors and you have the signs. It's like safety, death.
It's so on the nose.
Like a little too on the nose for my liking, but I mean, I guess they left worse in.
Yeah, but it goes back to like, this is what they're trying to do. Like, they're obviously like, this is how clear it is for someone in a horror movie to survive, and they always fucking make the wrong choice.
I love it and I hate it.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna watch it.
What about the implant?
The implant's funny. Again, like, as a kid, I had no idea what that was, but like, I have a distinct memory of that implant.
Yeah. I know the scene, and then when I like watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh, that's an implant.
And then, I mean, let's just address it now. She escapes one final time, sprints out onto the middle of the road, and she's yelling for her dad, who's driving the car. Gets hit by her dad driving the car. Why? Because the mom's blowing him.
Yeah.
I had no idea when I saw that. Like, the other day when I watched it, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Again, how was I allowed to watch this movie? But yeah, I mean, initial thoughts on the first 5 minutes, like,
it just sets a tone. It lets you know what you're in for.
Like, this is my line. I say this every movie we watch. It's true. Like, 30 seconds into the movie, like, you know what you're getting, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you kind of called out all the parts that I loved, like the kids just trying to trick or treat, get a face full of baseball bat.
There's one clever little quip that they did work into this. And I don't know if you heard it, but he goes, I want to see what your insides look like. And she goes, oh, turn to page 54.
Yeah, he's sitting there reading a Playboy.
Nudie magazine.
Nudie magazine day.
But yeah, I mean, good stuff for sure. And like, I tried to watch this movie prior to the actual rewatch I did. And I remember I was just kind of like, you know, tidying up around the house. I had just got home from work, so I threw it on. And I'm like, oh shit, this is actually like really funny, like a lot funnier than I remember.
Yeah.
I should sit down and actually watch it. Like, it deserves my full attention. So, I mean, that said, if you haven't seen it in 20 years, you'll know if you're going to enjoy it based on this first 5 minutes, like this cold open.
That's a good point.
So let's move on. We're going to do our intro scenes here. So this is going to cover Bobby and Cindy at Cindy's house. We're meeting the other main characters, Shorty, Buffy, Brenda, Ray, and Greg at school. So we first meet Bobby and Cindy at Cindy's house. Bobby climbs through the window, you know, that whole trope.
Mm-hmm.
And this next part didn't really do it for me. And this is a perfect example, again, of I think the writer's just trying to be like a little too funny.
Right. Which part?
Where her dad comes in and he's gone for the weekend and he's saying, oh, like, daddy's got to go on a trip to meet, like, what it's alluding to, Pablo Escobar.
Yeah. Because I wrote this down because I was like, what do you think her dad does? Because it never hit me as a kid. Like, this guy's a money launderer. This guy's a drug dealer. He's a drug dealer. Like, this guy, what's this guy do? What's his job?
But and they go on this
now
whole,
it makes sense.
Yeah, they go on this like whole minute or 2 minute, like heartwarming in quotation marks, like speech of flushing the stash and, you know, like, what does daddy always say? Like, cut the drugs with like baking soda, not baking powder.
Yeah, not baking.
Or you're going to get muffins in your cheeks. And like, I'm laughing saying it to you, which kind of pisses me off because it's counter to my point, which is this is just like, what?
Yeah, it makes
it's random for the sake of being random, right?
Yeah, 100%. One thing you missed though, with the window scene, is that they did the Dawson's Creek guy shows up.
Oh yeah,
which I was like, sorry, wrong set.
Oh man, any like zillennials that are listening to this and don't know Dawson's Creek?
What's that guy's name? Can't remember that guy's name.
Oh man, what is it?
The one.
I'm mixing up all the James. It's like is it Vanderbeek?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because who's the other one? The other one is the guy
James
that plays.
Woods. You got James Vanderbeek. You have
it's Vanderbeek.
James Spader. There's so many James.
Well, who's the other guy that is in Dawson's Creek? The guy from the Mighty Ducks movies.
Emilio Estevez?
No, obviously not Emilio Estevez. The kid that plays Charlie.
I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
okay, moving on.
Okay, so we're at school. We're meeting Shorty, Buffy, Brenda, Ray, and Greg. So Cindy brings up animal testing and makeup. And Buffy says she's more of a people person. This is my like favorite gag anyway during this whole scene. A bum, I guess, walks up to her.
Homeless man.
And asks if she can spare. Says it some change? Or yeah, because Cindy's like, oh no.
The bum goes to spare some change, and she goes, ew, no.
She says, ew, no. I completely butchered that because I'm just looking at my notes where I said $1 bitch and I'm dying.
Yeah. Because 4 seconds later, Cindy gives him a sandwich and he hucks it at her head.
He hucks it.
I said $1, bitch.
Like, I actually can't get through my notes here because it's so funny. Like, from the visual just to the line, like, it just completely caught me off guard.
He hucks that sandwich, too. Like, it slaps the back of her head.
He hucks it. Good introduction. I mean, if you don't know Buffy at this point.
Like, top 5 sandwich throws. Like, what do you got? What else you got? Because you got Napoleon Dynamite. The
steak? That's not a sandwich. It's a steak.
Oh, it's not a sandwich? Oh.
It's a steak. That's funny, though. Any first impressions on our characters here?
No, just that scene is hilarious.
It's I mean, it's a good way of like painting everybody in one quick quick scene, right?
Yeah, because they also bring up the flashback in this sequence too, right?
Yeah, so I was going to jump into that next. So this is where we get, I guess, our first major like spoof. This is obviously parodying
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah. So
finding out the I Know What You Did Last Summer bit happens through a flashback, right? So we get a bit of meta here. What are we, in a horror movie?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
But it's so funny to me. Like, I feel like I didn't really know what meta was. And I certainly didn't know what meta was at the time of this movie. Like,
I don't think people were using the term meta back then.
Maybe that's what it is.
Like,
because, I mean, I feel like I don't want to like say recently, but recent enough, I learned like, what meta is in movies. And this just did not occur to me at all. I don't know if you experienced the same thing. Anyway, during this flashback, we learned that Drew was killed exactly 1 year after they hit and run somebody. So we're driving along the highway here, and there's like obviously a ruck going on in the car.
a ruckus, for those who don't know.
A ruckus. Sorry for short forming ruckus. We have one of my favorite bits where Greg sticks his head out through the sunroof.
Right.
And Bobby's driving with Greg's head through the sunroof, and they hit a beehive. He just takes a beehive to the dome.
That's really funny. There's another part that like I just want to bring it up just because they want to put some music on, and Ray's just loaded with a cassette in his jacket pocket, and I'm like, did people really rock around with cassettes just like ready to go? Like,
I think you had to.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess back then you're doing Walkmans and all that stuff, so people just had a bunch of cassettes on them.
Also, that's wild to hear. Like 2000, like was it really cassette players in 2000? When did we get CDs?
I don't know, man.
I have no idea.
What did you say last week? Time is an illusion.
It's a social construct.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're talking I Know What You Did Last Summer bit. We're in the car. They obviously hit somebody. Any notable like bits that stick out to you here?
Yeah, absolutely. When they hit the person, and is it Buffy? Is her name?
Yes. Yeah.
Buffy picks up a boot and she goes, we hit a boot.
This is the next.
And then the one guy goes, where's the foot?
This is the next one I wanted to bring up. That line.
It's so good.
It's so good. And I feel like maybe they did cool off a little bit with I guess overdoing the bits, right? Because we are starting to get like a lot of good like quality lines here.
Yeah.
Like like the guy in the background. I love a good background bit, you know, where we're like watching our main characters like interact, but something's happening in the background.
What? So fill me in, because I got distracted during this part by a video of Eminem endorsing Kamala Harris.
Okay. So
fill me in on the background bit, because I must have missed it.
So the guy gets up and he's like, "Oh, hey guys, like I'm fine." And then Greg throws a bottle behind his back and hits the guy in the head. Drops to the ground. He's out cold. So they all pick him up. I think it's Ray, who goes, "I'll grab his ass."
Yeah, I'll grab his ass.
Someone's like, "I got his legs, I got his hands. Oh, I'll grab his ass." They put him in the trunk, and then, you know, obviously their focus is diverted again. So I think it's Bobby slams the trunk down, and
as the guy lifts his head waking up.
He's waking up. Boom, goes back down. Just running it into the ground, which is, again, like,
all to show that they didn't actually kill this guy until they dumped him in the lake.
They didn't actually kill him until they dumped him down at the docks. Yeah, so they're down at the docks. They dispose the body. They make a pact. We're going to take this to our grave.
What? Cindy also at the part, she goes, "Well, you just mentioned it, Greg." Greg gets so mad. "We're never bringing this up again."
So good. So that kind of concludes our flashback. We're back at the school, and I want to mention this particular part because this is our first introduction to Officer Doofy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Officer Doofy in 2024?
It's like not good, I guess. Like it's pretty offside.
Does he did he make you laugh? I mean, is there
yeah. So like that's also bad. Like I'm a terrible person.
They're ashamed to admit it.
Like you shouldn't do that, but they did it.
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I could not look at him.
He was really gross.
He's constantly drooling.
He's got boogers everywhere.
Oh my God. I don't even know. And then there's the whole, like, I guess, side plot of him and the reporter, Gail Hailstorm.
Yeah.
Played by Sherry O'Terry. She knocks it out of the park. Like, her part is great. She's selling it. But I cannot get past how much I hate Officer Doofy this time around.
It's really weird.
And it sucks because, I mean, he's such a, like, integral part of this movie now too, right? And I have fond memories of the bits related to him, as we'll address later with the vacuum. Like,
yeah.
At the time, I remember thinking that's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Now I'm just kind of like, bro, that would hurt.
Probably.
Okay, so we're back at the school. Let's move on to our first interaction between Ghostface and Cindy. So we're in class. Cindy's dazing out. She sees Ghostface pop out behind a tree, and he's just holding a hook in his hand. So she looks down, and there's a note.
Yeah.
I know what you did last summer. We get a little like daydream of not what he's referring to. So she looks at another note that he left for her that says, "No, bitch, I'm talking about the guy you killed."
Yeah, it's really funny.
Great bit. Any initial thoughts here? Like, this is to me, it's a fun way of introducing, I guess, this connection here between them.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's really like that. Like you said, that note is really funny. What another thing that's happening in the scene though is like, this is to me one of those examples of like, there's a lot of funny happening in this movie while being surrounded by some offside stuff.
Okay.
So like the teacher that had a baby with a student.
Yes.
Offside. But also the teacher not wanting to pick the eager student to answer the question. Really funny.
Yeah, there you go, right? And I think they're also alluding to her, I guess, sleeping with the entire class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's really weird.
It's just, I mean, it's not unnecessary. Sorry, it's not unnecessary. It's not necessary.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of stuff in there that like just didn't feel like it was needed at all because there's funny stuff going on already.
And I guess the problem with that is too, it's such a short runtime that if you start taking out all of these bad jokes, because there's a lot of them, like, do you even have a movie?
Probably not. Just fill it with different dialogue.
We can move on here to let's talk about Ray and Greg.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know how to balance this. The whole joke about insinuating Ray is gay, but in the end, us finding out he's not.
Yeah.
To me is very funny. I think it's hilarious. And I think it's done in not such a like homophobic way where you would expect it to be because the rest of the movie is so offside.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point.
Like you don't, I mean, maybe I just didn't write them down, but I didn't catch a lot of like homophobic slurs or anything like that.
No, yeah.
Again, I think it's just the insinuation, and maybe there's like some inappropriate, jockeying about it, but
yeah,
my God, this could have been so much worse.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been a lot worse. 100% could have been a lot worse. But yeah, they, for all the weird offside stuff that does make it into this movie, it's strange that might have been where they drew the line, like in the writer's room, like, no, this is our line, which like good they didn't cross it, like, because that would have been a whole lot worse.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about Greg and the little dick picture, because this absolutely sent me. And again, this is like so offside, but I'm going to say it anyway. He looks around the room, so the room's empty. For context, he has a picture, I guess, that was put in his locker of a little dick. And he says aloud, "Would you make fun of a guy in a wheelchair having a little dick as a disability?"
So bad.
It's horrible, but again, like, I think
bad.
it's just like the sheer.
But here we are laughing about it.
The sheer surprise of hearing these kind of things nowadays just it makes me laugh because I don't know what else to do. Like, I'm uncomfortable
It's like
that
an
I'm laughing at
reaction.
it, but I can't help it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, the whole character of Greg in and of itself is just like, he's hilarious, but I feel like I can laugh at him because we're clearly poking fun at that archetype.
The movie's poking fun at the Greg archetype of the jock guy, the big strong dude or whatever, you know what I mean? Like they're definitely poking fun at that high school trope.
And I mean, they kind of run it into the ground too, because like, what's the first thing he does? He runs to his friends and shows them all the picture.
Cindy's like, "Greg, it's okay, I got one too." He's like, "Oh, what? Bobby's got a little baby dick too?"
I forgot about that. That's a funny line. Oh, good stuff. Okay, let's move on to our very first kill of the movie here. At least in regards to the main cast.
Yes.
We're at the Miss Teen Beauty pageant.
I love this part.
So Buffy is here. She's a contestant. She's doing her talent. And I thought this was a really funny bit.
Yeah.
And if I'm missing something beforehand, by all means, bring it up.
No, this is the bit that I like.
Okay. So Buffy does her talent. It's a dramatic reading. So she's facing the audience. The audience is facing her. And the balcony above is Greg. So Ghostface is behind Greg, and we see Greg fighting off Ghostface. Ghostface starts stabbing him. He's clearly dying. And Buffy starts screaming, like, "Oh my God, like, look up there. There's a murder happening."
Yeah.
But she's doing such a good job.
Yeah, she's crushing
everyone
it.
thinks it's the dramatic reading.
Which is honestly, this is one of those, like, talk about like a perfectly set up joke where like, her talent's going to be a dramatic reading. Greg's getting killed in the balcony. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, yes!" Like, she's crushing this. Like,
So
it's
good.
so well done.
And then again, it speaks to her character that she finds out she wins. And she's like, "Oh, who the fuck cares about Greg? I just won Miss Teen Beauty pageant." You know?
Exactly. So here's another example of like the offsideness surrounded by good. Like the announcer guy starts singing the pageant song, and it's full of like really bad lyrics, like bad shit. But then somebody in the crowd, like they're throwing flowers to her, and someone in the crowd chucks a vase at the back of her head, and I'm right back in the movie again.
It's full of it, right? I mean, somewhere on YouTube, there's got to be like a 2024 version of this movie that's 12 minutes long and just features all the banging bits.
Yeah. Well, because right after this, you have the crews like talking like in the hallways, and Ghostface is behind them, and he's doing one of those scenes, mopping up the floor.
"Quote unquote, there's no sign of him anywhere."
Yeah.
He's behind them mopping the floor, and I think he's got the body in the garbage bag.
Exactly.
So good.
It's really, really good stuff.
Okay, let's move on to our first real contact between Cindy and Ghostface. The phone call.
Yeah.
So Cindy's in the bathtub. Ghostface gives her a call. Again, like, I don't know, maybe this worked for you. We got a lot of visual gags going on here. She's like shaving her mustache and then using the same razor like on her armpits, and then like using it again like on her forehead.
On her tongue.
Yeah. It's like,
it was just weird stuff happening.
Sure, guys. Eventually she makes her way down the stairs into the house. We get one of my favorite gags here. He calls back and he says, "I could be anywhere." And it turns out he's behind the couch.
See, this is the stuff that I really loved in this movie. Like, yes, that is poking fun at horror movies, horror tropes, and not being weirdly sexual about it. Like, that was so funny. He's like, you see his feet kicking.
His feet are like kicking. He's all giddy.
Giggling. But there's one bit before this that I want to bring up.
Sure.
Is she's blocking the doors or whatever, or she's at the front door, and like they do the dramatic push in with the camera. But the camera just hits her in the face.
Again, like meta.
It's so great.
And like, I can't imagine as a kid, I thought that was funny because I was probably so confused what was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to him being behind the couch. He's all giddy. she's like, I see you. You're behind the couch, and we're gonna run this bit into the ground here. He goes, okay, turn away.
Yeah, he's like, turn around. I gotta go get.
He hides under the rug. That's no good. We see a giant ghost face lump under the rug.
And he ends up behind the curtains.
So
great.
And she plays into it. She's like, oh, okay. Like, no, I don't see you. And he's like, ha, like sick. Pops out from behind the curtains, and we get another really funny chase scene. She runs up the stairs.
I love this scene. Like, I love the idea of the never-ending stairway to run up, but like they get up, you get a wide shot at one point where you can tell like they like built this set, like the set's real, and there's like this weird ass landing in this house. Then it's continued by another flight of like 30 stairs.
It's so good. And I mean, I like to think that like real thought went into the props that they were going to throw at him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Tossing grandma down the stairs.
We get a bike. We get grandma. We get a piano.
So funny.
And of course, what is it? I think grandma gets up and the piano hits grandma because of course, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it?
She's finally able to escape. And I was very confused by this. She gets a hold of 911 via computer.
Yeah, I guess so. I
mean, this has to be cutting edge technology at the time.
AOL chat, 911. What'd you say? White girl in trouble?
Yeah. So the cops show up. We get our first real clue here that Bobby may be the killer. I believe Bobby's at the front door and he drops a knife.
Yeah, he drops like all of the evidence that he's the killer. it's right there. They're like, Bobby's the killer.
We get the knife. We get I think he's got a phone on him as well. So they take Anna Faris down to the station, and we get a sneaky funny bit here where again it like could be funny, could be like overdoing it, but it worked for me. The cop says, "Okay, I want you to take a look at these pictures."
How did I know you were gonna like this bit?
Did you not?
When I first saw it, I was like, "It's not working." And then he's like, and then when he comes back, he's like, "How about this one?" And that's when I come back like, "Okay, it's funny."
And so this is why it worked for me, right? Because the first time I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
It's the sheriff in was he in a Speedo, right?
Yeah, he's like in a tiny
for context.
thong.
Yeah, it's the sheriff in a Speedo. So he shows her the picture. What do you think of these pictures? We're expecting it to be the murder scene. It's the sheriff in the Speedo. Shows her one, and she's like, And he's like, okay. Shows her another like 5.
Yeah. And then as they're wrapping up, like she's like, "No, it's none of these." They're wrapping up. He's like, "Well, how about just looking at this one more time?" And it's really funny because like the way they're playing the scene, it feels like the sheriff is like asking her thoughts on like what one to put on his dating profile, and because she's like, "No, not this one.
That's so good. We get a doofy scene here. Do you remember what comes next?
No, I can't remember.
So 2 officers are joking around. Smell my fingers.
Yep.
And then they call Officer Doofy over to smell the officer's fingers. He gets a whiff and he wants to join in. And he says, "Oh, smell my fingers."
And the guy's like, "Ew, what is that?"
And he goes, "My ass."
So childish.
Again, like I'm out on Doofy, but this bitch is the 10-year-old in me died.
This bit reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen it. It's that comedy about the guys who really love wrestling.
No.
And they get Slurpees or slushies or whatever, and the guy wants more and wants another one, and so he sticks his hand in his ass and then brings the cup in and like goes up to the guy at the cash. He's like, "Man, my slushie smells weird, man. You smelling that?" And then gets a free one.
That's actually really funny. It's like somebody's own take on Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna transition here to probably the most iconic scene in the entire movie, the Shorty and Ghostface call.
So good.
Would you like to kick us off with a "What's up"?
What's up? It's so good. I love how back and forth, because Shorty's high as fuck, and Ghostface is like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Chilling." How about you? He's like, "Chilling, a little bit of killing." It's like, that's right. Like they're so into it.
Like it absolutely holds up. And I think something that maybe I missed the first time I watched this was the nice little visual of like Ghostface mask changing throughout it. Like
his
he's
mask
progressively
changing.
getting like more high, his tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
Absolutely holds up. Absolutely slays.
When Shorty calls it, like, "Hey, Dookie, pick up the phone."
Yeah, there's just like 7 more cutscenes. Yo, pick up the phone. maybe you remember this. There was a commercial similar to this scene,
I'm
right?
pretty sure it was the Taco Bell.
It was Taco Bell. I think it was Taco Bell.
It might have been the Taco Bell dog doing "What's Up." Like it was, the shit was everywhere, man.
It truly was,
Yeah.
Which is also funny because I feel like nowadays you would never get scenes from an R-rated movie worked into commercials or any kind of marketing.
Yeah,
right?
true. Yeah, you definitely. Yeah. Like, I mean, I work in advertising. Brands are too scared to do anything.
Like, you have to think that like little Billy's mom is like, "How dare you show my son like Taco Bell commercials featuring an R-rated movie?" Right?
Someone probably wrote in, but back then it's like, hey, if you're getting bad press, it's working.
Yeah. Would you like to do the rap?
No, I'm good because that doesn't come till later.
Oh, really? Is that not a part of this?
Because it goes like from the cop station, and then you get Dewey at home. Sorry, Doofy. Dewey's the name of the guy in the actual Scream movies. Doofy at home, and that's when you get the vacuum scene because Cindy gets another call, and then it goes to Ghostface doing the "What's Up," and then the party.
I'm not gonna lie. For this scene, I literally just wrote down iconic Shorty and Ghostface call.
Yeah,
because no notes.
That's all. No notes. It's so good, but you're right because the party starts happening. Everyone goes to the party, and this was one of my favorite parts is Ghostface getting stoned with all the stoners. Like it's so good. And when he's sitting there and he's like, "Oh, you guys hear that?"
That was really good.
And all the guys, everyone's getting so scared. He's like, "I'm just playing. I'm just playing."
That's such a good bit. Okay, we'd just like to point out here, we are officially halfway through the movie. This movie moves fast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, again, which is like a hilarious observation in itself, considering the sheer amount of bits they throw at you.
Yeah.
Nothing was cut. Nothing was left out. Like, we're still cruising through this.
Well, yeah, I mean, we also haven't even talked about Buffy's death.
I was just about to bring that up. So we're on the second kill here. So let's talk about Buffy's kill. So this happens right after the phone call while at Buffy's, where we're being told it's not Bobby. So next day, we find out Bobby's released. We're in the locker room.
Yeah.
Everybody has left other than Buffy. Ghostface shows up. So how did you feel about this murder?
I think it's funny because it's parodying what happens in horror movies like to a T. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fall and break my leg," and then she does, and it's really gross because her really bone pops out of her shin.
I actually remembered this part was coming, and I looked away because I distinctly remember this. Like, I swear to God, in the back of my head, like whether I'm running or playing soccer or doing anything, I'm always like, if your fucking leg bends like that,
it's gonna break.
It's gonna break, and the bone's gonna pop out.
You can break your own leg if you just yank it hard enough to the left.
I really like this too because they found a way to make her death like on brand for her character.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, she's like the bitchy, like hot girl at school, whatever. It just fits, you know? Like they did a really good job in my opinion here.
Well, yeah, because he cuts her head off and she keeps talking and then he just shoves it in the lost and found. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah, she's still going. Okay, let's move on to the next death here. We're at like, I guess like a makeout point, whatever you want to call it.
Gail.
So Gail Hillstorm is interviewing a woman in her car. The woman says she's waiting for her boyfriend, who I guess went to go like check out some Rufflin or something.
Yeah,
right?
He heard a noise. He went to go check it out.
Gail suggests to her, hilariously, like, have you thought about maybe he's not coming back because he's dead?
Well, and she straight up goes, like, you're the next, you're next.
Probably next,
like,
yeah.
No, she says, you are next. How do you feel about that? Do you feel lucky? And then it happens.
And then Ghostface shows up. I think he continues killing her while Gail's like interviewing her, right?
Yeah.
And she tries to interview him and he's like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, get out of my face. Get the camera out of here.
And I think, I've never seen this movie, but this is Blair Witch?
Yeah, they do the Blair Witch here.
Okay, yeah. Gail runs into the forest and, oh my God, I'm so startled.
Yeah, well, it's the South Park. Well, yeah, this is where you get the runny nose part because in Blair Witch Project, the one, I forget who it is, but they have like a really runny nose, but this one is just like a faucet.
It's like a faucet.
Leaking.
That kind of stuff just grosses me out.
Yeah.
Interesting that you've seen Blair Witch because again, I mean, witches are ghosts.
I mean, it is very scary. I saw it like as a kid, like in high school, probably we all got together and watched a scary movie. It's not for me.
Tweens, am I right?
Yep.
Okay, moving on. We're at the movies. Let's talk Ray and Brenda's death here. Two very different approaches.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say.
But I will say again, like, so we're at the movies in line with Buffy's death. Brenda's murder is also quite like on the nose, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the movies. I think Brenda busts out like a whole.
She's the annoying person in a movie theater.
A whole bucket of chicken.
Yeah, like that's offside. Like that joke alone is offside.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, but what's happening in this scene is like, yeah, people do bring in snacks in the movie theaters. I've done it before.
Absolutely.
And like, I've been at a movie theater where someone like had a full tray of sushi and was like eating their sushi in the movie theater. That shit is annoying. Like, what are you doing? Stop talking. Stop eating your outside food.
It's wild, and also it's a really good setup, I guess, for her eventual death. Like people are pissed off, right?
Yeah, the crowd kills her. Not even Ghostface.
Crowd kills her. Ray sneaks off to the bathroom. Would you like to take it away on this one? This is just like a step too far, I guess.
Yeah, this scene is weird, man. Like this is Ray's fake death. Like this is the fake out that you think Ray is dead. And that's it.
Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. We think he's dead. We come back to Brenda. She's still causing a ruckus, and we see an arm, do the reach around. Is that what you call it? The reach around?
I guess so. It
arm
is
over
now.
the shoulder.
Yeah.
Shut the movies. It's the move.
Yeah, the move.
Anyways, it's not Ray's arm, it's Ghostface. He pulls out a knife, but we see that Ghostface doesn't actually have to kill her. The crowd each pulls out their own identical knife.
Yeah, and they just stab her.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed this. There's a quick shot of Ghostface. He's just chilling with his legs up on the chair.
He puts his feet up on the chair and he starts eating some popcorn.
He's crushing some Pepsi. So good. So at this point, just a murder count. We are down Buffy. We're down Greg. We're down Ray, and we're down Brenda now, right?
Yeah, quote unquote Ray.
Quote unquote Ray. So naturally, what are we going to do? We're going to throw a party.
Yes.
This particular scene also stayed with me for 20 years. It's the girl in the garage.
Oh, when she gets trapped in the door thingy?
She gets trapped in the door. So a girl's looking for more beer. She's told there's more beer in the garage. Ghostface is in the garage, which is also interesting because I feel like he doesn't really kill anybody. I guess he kills the people at Makeout Creek, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, he sticks to the main cast.
Well, yeah.
So that said, I'm not really sure why this woman died, other than I guess somebody had an idea to kill somebody in a garage door.
Yeah, they're like, someone crawls through a doggy door, gets stuck, and then the garage door kills them. That's like, okay.
Truly, but ever since, I've always had like an irrational fear now of garage doors. Like,
right, yeah.
If we're opening a garage door, like I'm back inside the fucking house. Like I'm not
getting anywhere near that thing. I've seen what happens.
It's stuck with me. Fuck garage doors.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we get to Shorty's I See Dead People scene, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They're super stoned.
So him and the stoner boys are just chilling on the longest couch in history, apparently. I don't know if you noticed this.
Yeah,
There's like
huge.
12 of them all in a row.
Yeah.
And Ghostface enters and we have an oh shit moment before we cut to him taking a hit from the bong.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's because they what do they, don't they like run out of, they break the bong, they break their smoking apparatus, or something happens.
Just call it a smoking apparatus.
Yeah, that's what you call it. But then they have to use the aquarium, like, because Shorty comes up with the light bulb moment.
That's right, yeah.
He's like, light bulb moment, and he's like, oh, we're going to use the aquarium to make like a bubbler. And like, and it just like, it's like the coolest thing ever. And then that's when Ghostface comes in.
A bubbler. Oh, man. This guy's definitely smoked weed in high school. Okay, I'm going to do the rap. I'm going to slash and gash, cut another hole in your ass, spill blood on the walls, play tennis with your balls. If the phone rings, don't answer the call.
Going to tear your skin off, wear like a coat or something? I can't remember.
I mean, I think that's the like most popular verse of the rap, right? Yeah. That's the one everybody knows. That's the one, the second we brought it up, people were rapping at home listening to this.
What I like about the scene too, though, is that like, eventually Ghostface is going to kill all these guys. It's just a matter of how.
Right.
And I love that it comes after, like they're all doing the let's all rap in a circle together. And like Shorty does his thing, and then Ghostface goes next, and just like meanwhile while he's rapping, he's doing all the hand movements, right? But he's got his hook in his hand, so he's just cutting. It's
so good, and I think it's Shorty's the last one alive, right? And he's not even bothered. He's like, that was sick.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, that was tight. I think Shorty has one of the best deaths in the movie. Like, when we get to it, I can't wait.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I mean, we're pretty much there right now, right? We're back at the party. Ghostface out of nowhere enters Cindy's room and stabs Bobby, right?
Yeah.
This is like the reveal that we're gonna figure out who Ghostface is with the whole like whatever. Cindy's sprinting down the stairs to the front door, and Shorty enters the room. And what happens? Bobby shoots him.
Yeah, Bobby shoots him. Bobby shoots him, and then as he's dying, smoke is coming out of Shorty's lungs, and he's trying to puff it.
He's trying to inhale.
And then he asks Sydney, he's like, "You want to hit that?" Like, this is one of my favorite like deaths in the whole movie.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, so Shorty dies. They move into the kitchen, and this is where Bobby and Ray kind of reveal, I guess, their whole dynamic, what's happening here.
Yeah.
We get the big surprise. Oh my God, Ray's still alive. We get a couple reveals because this is also where Bobby and Ray go back and forth about Bobby thinking Ray's gay,
Yeah.
but him not being gay.
Yeah. And then don't they want to like run off together? Like, or Bobby thought
Bobby
they were.
thought so. I'm trying to think of.
This is where Bobby reveals that he's actually an incel, and like that's what his whole motivation to kill people was, because he's fucked. Like,
I'm trying to remember the examples he gives, like something like, oh, like they went to San Francisco, and Ray's just kind of like, I just wanted to shop.
I just like shopping, man. Like, what are you talking about? They got good clothes.
Anyway, Bobby basically tells Ray, stab me.
Yeah, they're gonna make it look like.
They're gonna make it look like, yeah. So Ray he stabs him like 30 times.
Yeah. Bobby's like, I feel a bit woozy here, man.
They reveal, I guess, like their plot behind it, and we kind of get like another meta moment where we ask why, and he's just kind of like, well, did Scream have a plot? Like,
yeah, because
no.
None of it makes any sense.
Did I Know What You Did Last Summer have a plot? No. Until finally Ghostface shows up. I'm not gonna lie, I was so confused at this part.
Yeah, it gets like the ending does get a little like weird in terms of like following the plot.
So Ghostface shows up and he stabs Ray.
Yeah.
After Ray has finished stabbing Bobby. So we just get like a chain of stabbing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, personally, I was super confused about this part. I was like, oh, sick. That actually makes a lot of sense because, again, like, we're going to get to the ending, but I had completely forgot Doofy was actually the killer.
Yeah.
I thought this was the ending. Like, I was under the impression.
No, you forgot the whole Matrix fight.
I did forget the whole Matrix fight, right? So, I mean, let's take it away. Let's talk about this. We move on past Ray and past Bobby, and we get a final showdown here between Cindy and Ghostface.
Yeah, and like I remember this being a thing on playgrounds. So it came in waves. Matrix came out in '99, and I remember the playground was everyone's dodging like Neo. But then when this movie came out, we were all doing the bit like where you dodge like Neo, but your back breaks because you're Ghostface, because you're making fun, because you're doing Scary Movie now. I remember this to a T on the playground when we be playing whatever game we were, but like this is what kids were doing. Like we love this shit.
It's so funny. Also the back issue, like,
oh, I get that. I would never be able to bend that way and not break my back.
I relate to that more than anything. Sorry, I forgot one last visual gag. When they do kill Ray and Bobby, we're going to talk about how they land.
Yeah, we know how they land.
Just in case, I wanted to make it clear. Funny, not necessary.
Not necessary,
but funny nonetheless.
But funny. Yeah.
So eventually, the Matrix fight ends with Cindy kicking Ghostface through the front window.
Yep.
Cops show up. Cindy goes outside. Naturally, Ghostface is gone, right? The cops are going to bring her to the station one last time where we all kind of clue in, oh my God, the killer all along was Doofy, who turns out to actually be a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, they do the usual suspects. Like this is, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but it's the same idea where the guy seems one way, and then at the end, he turns out he's actually just completely normal. How does this work?
I wish that people could see your face right now.
How does Doofy's family... Like, how does this work with Doofy's family? Like, I just have so many questions. Like, Buffy and her mom and dad never knew that he was, like, just playing at this bit the whole time to, kill Drew for some reason?
I mean...
in the very beginning? With Gail?
It's just the long con, right?
Yeah.
He's got a whole secret life. Where
Another part that irks me about this ending, and I get it. I'm thinking way too hard about Scary Movie and a parody movie in general, but Doofy does his walk down the street, and he turns into this cool guy, rips his mustache off, he starts smoking a cigarette, gets in Gail's car, and they take off down the street. And Cindy and the cop run after him, and they're like spinning in circles, like, where did they go? You can see the car for fucking 45 minutes in the background, driving very slowly away.
Okay, I had this as a nitpick.
Get in your car and chase him. What are you doing?
I had this as a nitpick, but I didn't want to be that guy. I'm so happy you're being that guy for me.
It's just like, I don't know, make them turn right so they're out of frame. So, I don't know.
All of that said, we've reached the end.
Yes.
How do you feel about the movie? Does it hold up in your opinion?
I mean, apart from all the like weird stuff that we talked about that like it was completely unnecessary and shouldn't have been in the movie and like was offside, I think there's a lot of funny here.
There is a lot of funny.
When they're actually parodying horror movies and like the tropes themselves, like the movie works. Like for me, the movie's at its best when they're doing things like Ghostface hiding behind the couch and then running to find another hiding spot and then the long ass staircase. I think that stuff is the best parts of this movie.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw the news. They're making another scary movie.
Oh my God, what?
Yes. So nothing's confirmed, but people are like alluding that Anna Faris might come back. Her condition basically is give me a lot of money.
Yeah, it should be.
And include Regina Hall. Like she wants to do it again with Regina Hall. Brenda.
Okay.
Normally I'm not about a reboot, but I'm curious because my final thought on this movie is there's some genius in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of the things nowadays that aren't funny and that are kind of dated is what's like inappropriate, right?
Right.
So you have to think if you just take this movie in 2024 where, you know, you lose a lot of the inappropriateness.
Yeah.
Do you get genius?
Probably. Like, I don't know. Because it's funny that these parody movies went away because horror movies didn't. They just kept chugging. And they kept creating more and more tropes. So there's a ripe field to pick from.
There's plenty to work with. So I have to think, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like
we're going to get some Midsummer gags in here. We're going to get like, I don't know, the new Scream movies that came out. Like they're going to be doing that.
Right? Like my curiosity is piqued. Like I'm intrigued.
I'll wait to see a trailer.
I thought you were off trailers.
I thought you were off trailers.
I am off trailers, but I'm pretty sure you said you were also off trailers.
No,
or maybe you just didn't have time to watch Gladiator 2. Yeah.
I'm not off trailers. I'm just lazy.
Anyway, stay tuned. I guess we'll find out what happens with the new scary movie, whether, you know, Anna Faris comes back. If we get all the original cast, like I said, I'm totally in.
Yeah.
It's not like they're doing much nowadays, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll dish out some awards. And we're back. We're slashing and gashing. MVC, let's talk. Who's your most valuable comic?
So I didn't write down my most valuable comic in this one. I just wrote down top scenes. But for me, like, it's hard to not pick Shorty because of all of his scenes with Ghostface are some of the funniest scenes. You know what I mean? Like some of the things that are like the killer getting stoned with the people at the party is just hilarious to me. And
it's
like
so
that
good.
doesn't happen without Shorty. So like, I don't know, who are you thinking?
It's so good. So I was actually excited to do this one because, you know, we do MVC every week, and typically you and I land on the same person.
Yeah, there's usually a clear favorite kind of thing.
This is a good movie for MVC because, I mean, the cast as a whole is gold.
Yeah. Everyone kind of gets their moment.
My personal MVC is the dude who's playing Ghostface because the physical comedy to me is so good.
Yeah.
He sells every single physical gag. Like he sells it so well. Like specifically him behind the couch and the feet just doing like a subtle like giddy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're kind of like kicking like the toe taps.
It's so good. Shout out to that guy. Shout out to the director.
Do we know who it was? Like, did they have one of the Wayans just like
I don't know
in the ghost phase? Like interesting.
But shout out to the director too for like changing up the masks because I had such an appreciation for that this time around.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, let's talk funniest scenes. I feel like normally you kick it off, so I'm going to kick it off. We just talked about Ghostface hiding behind the couch. I love that. That whole scene from him hiding under the rug to the curtains to the chase up the stairs, gold. Of course, the was up.
Yep.
We can mash those two together between the rap and that. How about you?
So I will second the whole like Ghostface hiding and the stair sequence. Like that shit was top notch for me. and then it goes from there. It's Ghostface getting stoned with everybody, and then Shorty trying to smoke the weed from his bullet wound.
Him inhaling like
that's
just it's just the perfect death, right?
It's so good. That's the top for me.
That's so funny. I really think again we need to shout out like an appreciation for like the background gags because it's hilarious, right? Like it doesn't always have to be like a funny line or, you know, an over the top gimmick, but things like, you know, him mopping behind them all when they're saying like, oh my God,
he
like
could be anywhere.
He could be anywhere. Like it's so good. Okay. Are you ready for some head to head?
Yeah. I'm curious which ones you picked this week because I feel like they might be similar to what I had last week. I don't know.
I feel like every week I say, Chaps, I got some movies for you that I know you've seen and then you still haven't seen them. I'm confident you've seen all of these movies.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how well you know me.
Okay. We're going to start with the scary movies.
Yeah.
We'll do the first 3.
Yeah, and I have seen the first 3.
We have seen the first 3.
Yeah.
So up against Scary Movie 2, which movie is funnier?
See, this is where head-to-head gets hard in the fact that I haven't seen Scary Movie 2 probably in just as long as I haven't seen Scary Movie 1. Going off of memory, I feel like I have recency bias on this one. I'm going to say the first one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Even over the take my strong hand bit.
See, that's
because
what
I feel like that might be the best bit of the 2 movies.
It might be the best bit of the 2 movies, yeah, but what else? I'm trying to think of what else there is in that movie. And like a lot of it like doesn't work for me in that movie. Like the haunted, like the perverted haunted ghost guy, like
oh, I forgot about that.
Like that's all like that's what it's all about. And yeah.
Fair enough. Scary Movie 3, do you remember enough about that?
I don't.
No.
I don't remember enough about that.
I have like just
what like one scene stands out in my head that I remember from these scary movies, and I don't even know if it's from the 3rd one or the 4th one. But the aliens who pee out of their hands.
I think that is the 3rd one.
Fingertips.
Because Leslie Nielsen ends up doing it too at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to movies from the year 2000. Are you ready?
Right. Yes.
Road Trip.
I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Better.
Road Trip is better. Tom Green, Freddy Got Fingered. What's better? This is just as an aside.
It was just
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Like as like a line and bit is probably just in itself better.
We should add that one to the list.
Yeah,
okay, next. Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh, see, Dude, Where's My Car is on my list to watch.
It's on my list too,
like,
actually.
for the pod. I'd go with Dude, Where's My Car? I just like it better.
When was the last time you saw that movie?
It's been ages, but
okay.
Zoltan.
I want to say I watched it within the last like 5 years, and I feel like it didn't hold up.
Oh,
and now I'm scared to watch it again.
That's tough to hear, but you know.
Sultan. Finally, The Replacements. This is the Keanu Reeves football movie.
Yeah, but I'm like it's not as funny.
Keanu Reeves plays what's his name? Shane Falco.
Yo, okay, so I this is funny you bring this up because I saw something that apparently whatever field they were using to film that movie, one of the like offensive coordinators was watching the whole time and like joked with Keanu about like, hey man, you should come for like a walk-on tryout or something like that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He's like, if this acting thing doesn't work out.
That's so good.
And whether that's true or not, like it might, you know how the internet's just full of like people posting bullshit. So
it's funny because I was just about to say like, oh, Keanu Reeves could do like any role like in real life that he plays, but he just consistently plays like a cop.
well, that like, it also goes to his training stuff that he does, like for all the John Wick movies. He did the same thing for like Matrix and everything. So he goes really deep into these roles where he wants to be a quarterback. Like this goes back to when we were talking about who's going to play John Madden or whatever. If we were talking about Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Whether I think Keanu can throw a perfect spiral.
On that note, completely unrelated to the movie, who's the better quarterback, Shane Falco or Johnny Utah?
See, you never get to see Johnny Utah throw a ball, but
he's got that knee injury.
I'd go Shane Falco because he does take the team to the championship. Like just based on like on the film that I've seen, on the game film that I've seen. There's no Johnny Utah game film out there.
That's fair enough. And with that officially wraps up spooky season. Feeling pretty good about these 2 movies. You know, I had never seen Beetlejuice before, and again, it's been 20 years since I've seen Scary Movie. It's going to be tough to choose a winner. 2
strong contenders to get into the bracket for the season finale. So we'll either add that discussion to the beginning of the finale episode, or we'll release it at a later time. But we'll have a talk and decide which one out of Beetlejuice and Scary Movie deserves to be in the bracket.
All right. With that, I am Rip Macho.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Signing off.